It is a pleasure to be with you folks today. I'm Richard Walker, and I want to take a moment to thank you for allowing me to present one of my lectures. Who am I and what is my professional background? Well, after 30 years, I retired from the medical field. My medical career began at Indiana University as I majored in allied health. From my academic background, I went forward and joined the United States Army Medical Corps and served in Korea for about a year and a half. Later, I moved back into the civilian world and I assisted running pathology laboratories, hospital laboratories, and then finally I joined the national and international company of GlaxoSmithKline Pathology Laboratory, whereupon I took my retirement. My lectures are sponsored by Home Choice Network, where we believe in independence for seniors and peace of mind for families. Home Choice Network is a home care agency, which is licensed by the state of North Carolina and regulated by the Department of Health and Human Services out of Raleigh. We've been in existence for over 16 years. I have had the honor also to manage both state and regional operations with other international companies. By the way, I've held the position of president of Toastmasters International Club of the Sandhills. This is a worldwide organization dedicated to public speaking and leadership development. At this time, I would like for you to sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy my presentation I have for you today. My title of my lecture is, What is a Diet or a Healthy Diet? And that covers a very large area. First of all, what is a diet? Well, according to Webster's dictionary, a special course of food to which one restricts oneself either to lose weight or for medical reasons. Now, that really deserves, I think, a second reading here. A diet is a special course of food to which one restricts oneself either to lose weight or for medical reasons. You don't have to have a diet just to lose weight in order to be on a special diet, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. The diet is to regulate one's food intake for the purpose of improving one's physical condition, as well as assisting the improvement of one's mental state. That's another way to identify diet. Now, here's a question that you might find of interest. Is nutrition the same as diet? And of course, the answer is no, since nutrition refers to the quality of the food itself. Nutrition is food that our bodies need to consume daily for our bodies to function optimally. Nutritional food includes the following, which is complex carbohydrates, protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Now, here's another question. How is medicine and food, are they the same? And the answer is yes. Medicine and food are both chemicals. Matter of fact, I just came from my doctor a little while ago as he was checking my status. I have to be positive with diabetes type 2. And we were talking about food intake and medicine. And I told him my position on that they're both the same. They're both chemical. And he says, you're totally correct. And that's why you have to watch what you eat and what medicine you're on to make sure the regulation of your body is at the optimum basis for your health. Do you need to check with your doctor regarding your diet and medicine? And I think I just answered that question where I told you I just came back from seeing my doctor a little while ago. And the answer is yes. You must always work closely with your doctor. He knows why he has you on specific medicine. And it's important that you tell him the type of diet and food intake that you are on. A lot of times through laboratory tests, he will automatically know whether you're eating good food or bad food or the wrong food or whatever. But you need to help the doctor understand what you're on so he can make sure he can help you understand whether you need to make changes regarding your particular diet. We all know that by following a good diet and a diet is best for us is not really easy. It is difficult. It takes willpower. And in order to have willpower, you have to understand what you need to do and then stick to that particular regimen. For example, Samuel Longfellow in the 1800s was an American clergyman, and he also wrote various hymns. But I'd like to read something that Samuel Longfellow said at one time. Though patience fires are in thy soul, the spirit can their flames control. Though tempters strong beset thy way, thy spirit is more strong than they. Now, what am I saying and what does that mean? That means that we have to have some willpower, we have to have some stamina, and we have to allow the spirit within our bodies to come forth and make us stick to the gun, so to say, and follow a diet that you know and your doctor knows is best for you. Let's go over something that St. Francis of Assisi once said, and I really like this particular statement. So he stated one time, start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Now, I've heard a lot of folks say, I can't stick to a diet. I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't like to just eat vegetables. Well, as St. Francis would encourage you, start off one step at a time and then work forward as to what is going to be best for you regarding your medicine, your diet, your food intake, your lifestyle. There are 5 diets that are supported by the science and the professional health field. Now, a lot of times when someone says diet, you immediately think, oh, that individual has to lose weight, or if I go on a diet, I've got to lose weight. Well, that's only one of 5 diets. There are several different diets here, 5 in particular. Now, the diet that is in regard to losing weight is what's called the low carb, whole food diet. All right. A good diet for people who need to lose weight is a low carb diet. This is a flexible diet that allows you to fine tune your carbohydrates intake. Now, what are carbs? Well, I'll give you some examples. They include breads, beans, fruits, vegetables, milk, and milk products. Now, we do have to keep in mind that there's good and bad carbs. Now, the good carbs are vegetables, beans, whole fruits. I just mentioned those. But I'm also talking like apples, bananas, strawberries, etc. Good carbs provide you with vitamins and minerals, fiber, and many other nutrients. Now, keep in mind the critical value of a high fiber diet. Now, again, I can't emphasize this enough. I'm going to say it again. Keep in mind the critical value of a high fiber diet. You need to flesh out your intestinal tract. You need to be able to have high fiber to help your body balance and have a good, healthy state. We'll talk about that more later on. Now, we do have some bad carbs. For example, we have white bread, white rice, sugar, and particularly high-price processed foods. Now, a lot of processed foods have a high intake on salt, also have a high intake on sugar. A lot of times processed foods are processed in a way that the average individual say, hey, I like the taste of that. I need to have some more. That's not always wise. There is a new system now called the glycemic index, and this is involved with sugar. This classifies carbohydrates according to how quickly and how they boost your blood sugar. Now, a lot of people don't realize that eating bread can be detrimental with high sugar content. A lot of people, for example, you can have a baked potato, and it's almost the same as filling the whole inner part of the baked potato with sugar, because it's a carbohydrate that is high glycemic index, and white bread happens to be one of those. And like I just said, a baked potato. You have to watch also what you put on your food, like if you put in butter or various sauces that are rich in salt or sugar, then you're defeating yourself, even though you have chosen the right food to eat. Now, we can also go and like consuming whole oats for breakfast. A lot of folks realize that by eating oats, you're going to have a low glycemic index because oats digest much slower and a lot of food that you would take and a carbohydrate, and therefore will slowly bring out the sugar in your body, but on a low glycemic status. Now, we've got another diet here. Let's go to the Mediterranean diet. This is a good diet to help prevent heart disease. It's one that I like. This diet includes plenty of vegetables and fruits, fish, poultry, whole grains, legumes, dairy products, and extra virgin olive oil. And I want to emphasize, olive oil is very, very good for you, and it's very good to have in your diet. That is the heart of what a Mediterranean diet is, the various fruits, vegetables, and poultry along with fish. Now we have what's called a paleo diet. Now this happens to be the world's most popular diet. Now you're probably thinking and may not have heard of this before. What is a paleo diet? Well, this diet centers on unprocessed foods, fresh foods, like the earlier stages of mankind during the Paleolithic era. That's why it's called the paleo diet. That's right. Back in the Paleolithic area, people didn't have processed foods. They have natural foods that Mother Nature grew. And that is considered across the world a very good diet to follow. Now, I'm sure you also, from time to time, have heard some friends or some folks say, well, I'm going to go vegan. I'm going to have a vegan diet. That's fine. This diet is increasingly becoming more popular since it's linked to a number of health benefits, such as weight loss, improved heart health, and better blood sugar control. This diet is based exclusively on plant foods and eliminates all animal products. I had a doctor give a lecture the other day, and he was talking about diet and the proper food to eat. And he said, well, I'm just going to keep it simple for you folks. Don't eat anything that's got a face on it. So consequently, that eliminates the era of meat. And more doctors are starting to support this vegan diet. Now, you have heard from time to time where people have trouble with gluten, so they need to have a gluten-free diet. Now, this gluten-free diet is essential for people who are intolerant to gluten. Now, what is gluten? Well, it's a protein that is found in wheat, rye, and barley. Remember, gluten-free junk food is still junk food, so you always stay away from junk food. And that, of course, includes a lot of over-the-counter food like potato chips and what have you. But the gluten-free diet is becoming more and more popular. Now, it's important to understand how our body functions in respect to the type of food we eat and what's really going on with our diet. So, does food affect the bacteria in our body? And what role does our food play regarding bacteria? All right. Now, we're covering a lot here. We need what is called good bacteria, billions and billions of bacteria. Our life would be non-existent if we weren't full of billions of various bacteria in our body, and particularly in our gut and intestinal tract. Now, why? Well, it's via the good bacteria that the food we eat is able to be broken down, digested, and disseminate through our gut tract in our body. This, in turn, allows nutrients to go out into the body and allows us to have life that we have it. This is called a healthy microbiota. Now, the good bacteria is fed by food that is called, and repeat this, food that is called, that supports the good bacteria, is called probiotic. Now, a good probiotic food is yogurt. And I have a little bit of yogurt almost every day. Now, healthy stomach foods also include kimchi, that's a Korean cabbage, sauerkraut, ginger, banana, kefir. Now, kefir is a fermented milk, salmon, almonds, garlic, peas, papaya, sourdough, apples, fennel, and beetroot. That's just one of a few examples of what probiotic good food can do for you and help your digestive tract. Now, you might want to keep in mind what foods that are not good for your stomach or your gut tract. Well, here we go again. We're right back to sugar. Sugar is not that good at all. Processed foods, we've already talked about because it has sugar, overabundance of salt, has a lot of different ingredients that you really don't need regarding the end result of processed food. Soy, unprocessed dairy, red meat is not considered the best. And of course, we've already talked about gluten. So, what about bad bacteria? Well, when there is not enough good bacteria, then bad bacteria can thrive. What's some bad bacteria? Well, you've all heard about E. coli. And a lot of times, if lettuce is not properly washed, you can have E. coli and put it in the salad, digest it, and then you have a chance of getting sick. When do we know if we've had too much bacteria? You might say, well, how am I going to know what's going on? Well, I'll tell you, you have a problem with your immunity. You can have thyroid issues, rheumatoid arthritis. You can have type 1 diabetes. Your digestive issues are going to flare up. You can have an irritable bowel syndrome. You can have constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, bloating. So those issues are going to be a red light, so to say, that, hey, maybe I'm better start eating a little bit healthier with some of my food and get some good bacteria, probiotic food in particular, into my digestive system. Now, when it comes to eating the proper foods, taking medicine, special diets, we must always keep in mind that taking anything in moderation is wise. And remember to mix the colors of fruits and vegetables. A lot of times I've had people say, well, Richard, I'm not sure. How do I know what vegetables should I eat or what vegetables should I cook? Well, I'll tell you what, follow the color, what I call the color code system. You mix all of the fruits and all of the vegetables up in their color. You have brown, you have, yellow, green, orange. Make sure you're eating a variety of colored fruits and vegetables, and then you're going to enhance the opportunity of having a good balance of vitamins and minerals for the health of your body. Eating the proper healthy food is one thing, but here's another key aspect: hydration. Many wikani. All right, now what am I saying? Well, that's an Indian Lakota phrase that says water is life. All right, we have to keep in mind hydration is the process of replacing water in your body, and there are two basic ways to stay hydrated. Eating the proper food's one thing, but to have healthy water and staying properly hydrated is still another. How do you think the minerals and vitamins are being transported throughout your body so you can have a healthy state? It has to be via water. And you have to keep in mind the water has to be as fresh and healthy as possible. Now, how do you get that? Well, there's a certain process called RO, reverse osmosis, where a very finite membrane is in a system that will take out various elements that are toxic, poisonous, or not good for you in consuming. For example, I have a friend that has a situation where he's worked for several years on a golf course. Golf courses are beautiful to look at and play on, but there's about anywhere from 18 to 20 different chemicals that they use. We have chemicals all around us that dissolve and go into our water streams, lakes, and aquifer systems. So an RO is a good step to remove toxic elements uh, with the RO system. Now, always remember, non-contaminated water is the best way to go. Excuse me. Eating water. Now you might think I'm really crazy. What are you talking about? Eating water. Well, we have to keep in mind absorption and retention. And one of the best ways to have retention with your water in your body is to eat foods that have high content with water. Veggies, for example, cucumbers, romaine lettuce, celery, radishes, zucchini are the top 5 veggies with a water content above 95%. Fruits, for example, star fruit, watermelon, strawberries, grapefruit, cantaloupe, all have 90% water. So you eat, consume those particular items, and that's how you're eating water. Once water is in our bodies, then what? Well, Leonardo da Vinci once said, water is the driving force of all nature. Now, there are 4 stages of water, not 3. A lot of us think there's only 3 stages of water: vapor, liquid, solid. Of course, the solid's the ice. Well, okay, what would be the 4th stage? The 4th stage is called fascia. Now, this becomes very important regarding our diets and the health of our body. But the 4th stage of water is fascia. Fascia is structured water, not as an H2O, regular water, but as H3O2, which means the H2O has an extra hydrogen atom, so it's H3O2, it's fascia. This is a recent scientific breakthrough, but a very important one. Fascia is water known as gel water, plus it is composed of the most abundant protein in our bodies, collagen. Now, Dr. James Oshman, an American biophysicist, states, fascia forms the largest system in our body since it is a system that touches all other systems in our body. It is over 50 miles long in the average adult. And this was quite a breakthrough in understanding how our body functions. We as mammals eat plants and in turn consume chlorophyll, which derives energy from sunlight, which energizes our body, as well as direct sunlight to us energizes the fascia under our skin, which generates, guess what? Electricity. So yes, we are solar cell charged batteries. Now that's why a lot of people, and you found this yourself, you have a few days of rain, but then it clears up and you have sunshine and a beautiful sunny day, blue skies, and you go out, you take a walk and you say, man, I feel so much better. Of course you do. Your cells of fascia are being charged and the electrical functions in your body is enhanced. That is, to me, a very interesting scientific breakthrough. Now, fascia is a key function to support hydration and is an internal irrigation system in our body. As Laurie Isley, an anthropologist and philosopher, once said, if there is magic on the planet, it is contained in water. So that's hydration and the importance of hydration. But what about dehydration? What goes on? Well, I'm 78 years old, and I have a tendency not to drink enough water. I'm not out working like I used to when I was a young fellow. And so I have to remind myself, I need to drink another glass of water. So a lot of you folks may need to remind yourself to do the same thing. It's not uncommon that individuals, let's say like myself, and up in my 70s, that become dehydrated. So why do we have this problem today and didn't, let's say, 100 years ago? Well, one of the reasons, we have air conditioning, we have heating, and what's going on, we're staying in buildings so often, more and more. And buildings so often lack moisture. We're in cars, we're in planes. These are just a few examples of why we shut ourselves away from moisture. So it's important to eat, consume uh, the foods that have high content in water. Now, there's some foods that will cause dehydration, such as alcohol, coffee, tea. Here we go again, sugar, grains, starches, meats, cheese, and table salt. We must watch not to overeat and consume too much salt. What is homeostasis? Well, homeostasis is the balance of water with hydration to dehydration and back to hydration. We have to keep in mind that life is all about balance. So water within our bodies promotes cell function. It also regulates temperature, removes waste products, acts as a lubricant, and is essential for chemical and metabolic reactions. So we have to keep in mind that our body weight is approximately 70% water, and our total body composition is 99% water. Therefore, I suggest we stay hydrated as we are eating the correct, proper food. I wish to take a moment to thank you for allowing myself and Home Choice Network to spend some time with you today. I realize I covered a lot of material regarding the subject on diet. However, we can revisit this topic at your convenience anytime. It is always a pleasure to have time with you, and as always, we at Home Choice Network take great concern in helping folks to take their medicine, eat healthy, and drink good, fresh water. Your health and happiness are especially important to us. Have a great day.